Alright, and welcome back to another edition of Boxing I Got It, dude, with your host, Robert Sanchez. Alright, so we have just a nice little article here. Errol Spence was asked a few questions. I found this article very interesting. I wanted to share this with you guys, give you my thoughts on it. So basically it's saying, Errol Spence envisions himself soon unifying the welterweight division by beating Shawn Porter and then the winner of Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao and then Terrence Crawford. Spence says he would like to be undisputed welterweight champion by next year so he can move up to the 154 division and then unify champions at that weight class. Spence admits that he's on borrowed time at 147 because he is quickly outgrowing the division and he needs to move up to 154 as soon as possible. For that reason, Spence says he only wants to fight world champions at 147 until he moves up in weight. Guys like Danny Garcia need not apply for a fight with Spence because he only wants to fight the belt holders, not contenders. So obviously, it doesn't help that Spence eats a lot of fast food in between fights. Eating hamburgers and french fries from fast food establishments is going to make it incredibly hard for Spence to make 147-pound limit once he moves up. Spence might even eat his way out of 154-pound weight class if he doesn't change his diet. On that little paragraph, I'm going to go back to what a video I made earlier. I feel like Kenneth Fredman's a little hating just a little bit, saying bullshit again about him being overweight and him eating this and him eating that. Yo, bro, Mayweather was one that would eat at Fatburger all the time, and he was always making weight. You guys don't know the sacrifices these boxers go through just to make weight, so to sit there and criticize the man because he wants to eat some fast food and wants to have a burger every once in a while, it's kind of really judgmental and saying that that's going to be too much. I don't know, they just like to make this shit like a bigger deal than what it really is, just to downplay the fighter. That's all it is. That's all he's trying to do is basically just downplay him. But alright, let's continue. So they ask him about Porter's fighting style. He says Porter is a balls to the wall. He can be very aggressive. He's a guy that tries to box at times but is a little bit out of his character. I think naturally he's a guy that comes forward, beats you up, and then is awkward. He does anything to take the win, says Spence. So he goes on to say that he expects to dominate Porter. He says, I think Shawn's game plan for the fight with Ugas was to box. And it doesn't come natural to him being a boxer, said Spence. He kind of forced a little bit. I don't think he has any choice but to be aggressive. It's not going to turn out well for him. For me, any fighter that is coming forward trying to throw a lot of punches at me, I think is going to work in my advantage. If he tries that or tries to box, I'll just be ready for anything he brings to the table, said Spence. For the most part, I kind of agree with him. If Porter does go in, it's going to be a long night for Porter since, Keith Thurman is the longer fighter. He has a very, very good jab, very good left hand. So, he could probably keep him at range. And, oh, my goodness, does he know how to control range. So, yeah, Porter has his work cut out for him in that fight. So, moving on with the interview, they asked him, why does he dislike Thurman more than Porter? And his response basically was, I disliked Keith Thurman more than I dislike him, said Spence about talking about Porter's recent comments about how he believes that Spence dislikes him. I don't care anything about Shawn Porter. I don't know where he got that from, that he doesn't like him, that Keith doesn't like him. I'm not jealous of him. I fought on pay-per-view. He hasn't fought on pay-per-view yet, said Spence. So, it's kind of really unclear what bothers Spence, about Thurman. I don't know if it's Thurman's cockiness. I have to kind of admit it. Thurman does kind of rub you the wrong way just because of how he talks and how he carries himself. I can see how he could rub people the wrong way. But he also goes to say that he's a guy that I wanted, that about Thurman, that he's a guy he's wanted to fight. He said that he's been wanting to fight him since he was 14-0. So they went to ask him if Thurman beats Pacquiao, and he basically says it depends on which Pacquiao shows up. I think Keith Thurman will be a lot sharper than he was in his last fight. Thurman had a long layoff. Keith is a lot tougher than a lot of people think. He took a lot of punches in that fight against Josecito. Even in the Shawn Porter fight, he took a lot of punches. He's a tough dude. He might be a boxer, but he's tough. I think he's going to win a split decision or he's going to blow him out because it depends on what Pacquiao comes out. If he can turn the tables, I think he can win. The Pacquiao that fought Broner, I think Thurman edges him out or outpoints him, said Spence. Now, I can't really agree with him for the most part because I feel that the Pacquiao that beat Broner will still give Thurman a lot of problems. I think it'll still be a competitive fight if that Pacquiao shows up. Okay. He's making it seem like it's really that easy to outbox Manny, and it really isn't. Manny is a very, very technical fighter. If you put his fights in slow-mo, you see a lot of the things that he does that throws off fighters and that makes fighters be at. Basically, he's always one step ahead in footwork when it comes to footwork. He dips to the left when he has to. He dips to the right when he has to. He's always one step ahead. He always knows when to step out. He knows when to step in, of course. Like I said, he's very good with range. But we'll just have to see on fight night. I just can't agree with Spence on that aspect. I don't know. I feel that Thurman will have to fight a perfect fight, and in none of the fights that I have seen him in, he has shown me that he could fight a perfect fight. Like, for instance, like how Mayweather fought Canelo or how Mayweather fought Pacquiao, for instance. Those were perfect fights. No mistakes. Perfect fights. I just haven't seen that in Thurman yet, so we'll have to see if he could do it, if he could pull it off. They ask him, how he feels that the fight will turn out. He says Keith will get on his bicycle, move around, pot shot him. Says Spence and allies in the Pacquiao fight. I think Keith Thurman will edge him out. He gets past Pacquiao and I get past Porter. I have 2 belts and he has 1. That's a huge fight on pay-per-view. It's definitely a fight that I want. After that, we're both fighting this year. I think we can fight in the first quarter of next year. Why wait? We meeting Keith Thurman is biggest fight out there for me. After beating Porter and him beating Pacquiao, that's a huge fight. An even bigger fight than me fighting Thurman is me fighting Pacquiao. If Pacquiao can beat Thurman, says Spence. I think it'll be more beneficial if Pacquiao wins, at least for Spence's pocket. I think that would be a more lucrative fight. Now, what needs to be said though is Pacquiao winning to fight Spence though. That's the thing. Like, I know, Pacquiao's a warrior. He's an old dog. He never backs down from a fight. He's fighting everybody. But remember, Errol Spence called him out after the Mikey Garcia fight, and Pacquiao was supposed to be there to watch the fight, and supposedly he was going to maybe face the winner. I honestly think Pacquiao was hoping Mikey was going to be the winner and take the fight. But then when Spence turned out to be the winner, I really think that he didn't want none of that smoke, and I still think that way. So I don't think that fight happens if Pacquiao wins. I think Pacquiao goes on maybe to face Danny Garcia or somebody else. But I don't know. I don't see him fighting Keith. I don't know. I felt like he ducked him once, so we'll see. Let's see here. Then they went and asked him about Crawford. He said they asked him about the fight with Crawford soon, and he said yes, definitely. He said he's interested in that fight. That fight is definitely the one I want. I want to clean up my side with Porter, Thurman, and Pacquiao and Danny, and then I'll probably fight Crawford before Danny. Terrence has a belt, so if I have my way, I'll fight Shawn and the winner of Keith and Pacquiao, and then have a huge clash with Terrence Crawford for undisputed welterweight championship of the world, and then after that move up. That would be my dream, said Spence. I like the way he's talking. I just wish all the boxers would talk like he's talking right now. So, I wish everybody was trying to clean out the division, kind of throwing shots here at Canelo, wanting to fight Charlo or anything like that. Spence is basically telling you that he wants to clean out his division, move up to the 54 division, clean that one out, and probably move up to middleweight. So that's the way boxers should be talking. This whole moving up and down in weight and not respecting the weight classes is getting kind of ridiculous. Weight classes were made for a reason. We should respect those reasons. I think that's not going to be the case until someone actually really gets hurt. Hope that's not the case. But there's also been a lot of talks about Errol Spence moving up to middleweight and fighting Canelo. He was saying that he was going to call Oscar De La Hoya's bluff. That would be an interesting fight to see. A lot of people feel that Canelo's the bigger guy. I don't really feel that way. I feel they're pretty even though Spence fights at welterweight. I still feel that they're pretty even in size. I don't want to make any predictions on that fight yet. I want first the fight to actually be made, and then I'll probably make a prediction on it. I will have to analyze it more, basically see what type of attitude they also bring to the table, because that also tells you what type of maybe style they might bring to the table. You never know. Errol, he seemed very upset and wanting to kick Canelo's ass were his exact words. So, he's going to probably go forward. So we'll just have to see if Canelo actually wants to do the old Mexican style, or if he decides he wants to go on his Mayweather rampage and box and, get on his bike. So we'll see how that goes. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, leave your comments, questions, or even some criticism. Can't even say the word right now. But just leave me your comments, share your video. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we can get this 1,000 subscribers soon. Start doing live videos, and I can probably get more videos out quicker. But thank you for everything. God bless, and peace.